So first of all, thank you for joining. We're here, Centrilogic, representing AI ambition to production, and we're here to talk about agentic AI solutions that we can help build, deploy, and operate. A little bit about today, we'll introduce ourselves, who we are, what this talk is about. We'll talk about the primary challenge that our customers are facing with AI agentic solutions and getting those deployed into production. Talk about our approach, a combination of a COE and an AI factory, a proven model that we've used for multiple customers. We'll talk about in depth about our factory model and how that operates. Talk about managed services and operating the next phase after production when the app has been deployed and the agents are running. How do you keep that rolling? And then we'll talk about our results, which includes a pre-recorded demo. If you do have questions, please put them in the chat and we'll address them at the end of the presentation. As mentioned, we'll be recording. So with us today is myself. My name is Shane Castle. I run our AI and agentic automation practice here at Centrilogic. With me is Walt Smith, and he is the VP of App Development. So combined, our teams are able to design, build, deploy, and operate agentic solutions. And we've done this for multiple customers, and we're happy to share those stories here with you today about how it is that we do that and some of the stories that we've done for customers. A little bit about Centrilogic. We're a North American-based IT services company. We've been around for almost 20 years. This is 15 here, but in 2007, it'll be the 20th anniversary. We're growing very rapidly. The headquarters, Canadian headquarters in Toronto. We also have a headquarters in the US, and we do have a presence in India as well. And so we're able to deliver full gamut of IT services and have done so for multiple customers. If you'd like any more detail about the company itself, please check out centrilogic.com. We're a long-time Microsoft partner, and part of partnering with Microsoft, we're able to leverage the Azure platform, the Microsoft Foundry platform, and all the services that are offered in Microsoft's AI agentic solutions. We have multiple specializations in the Microsoft platform. And what this means is that we've proven both through our capabilities and through our customer implementations that we both know how to do this work and that we've done it before. And that's what has to happen to earn these designations. We've been a contender for Microsoft's Partner of the Year on multiple occasions, and we help with services throughout from data, cloud, modern work, D365, and of course, app development and AI. So let's get into the main discussion that we're here to talk about here today. What's the challenge that we're facing out there? And we see really three things. So agentic AI, which I'm sure many of you have, AI is all over the news and all over everyone's agendas. Building one-off agents is becoming fairly easy, where there's a lot of set of tools that allow single solutions to be made. The challenge is when you want to scale that outside of a single use case or a single department and get that rolled out across the enterprise. Making sure they're secure, making sure that they're cost effective, making sure that there's not overlap in what's going on there. These are some of the challenges. And then operating this, making sure it's doing what it's supposed to once it's in production. As your business begins to depend on these agentic solutions, they need to be managed the same way critical IT infrastructure components are managed. These are the challenges that we're facing out there. So we have a solution, and we split it into two parts, and I'll go into each in detail. The first is our Center of Excellence, or COE, and the COE is really the people, process, the business side of the AI solution. And then the other half is the AI factory. And the factory is where the solutions get built, and you can think of an analogy like a manufacturing, like a car manufacturing, or any factory that is taking raw inputs and producing an output. In the case of our AI factory, business requirements come in and functioning agentic AI solutions come out of the factory. The factory involves using new tools, new capabilities, AI-based capabilities, AI-based tools to develop solutions much faster and much more reliably than in the past, where things would take a lot of effort. We're able to compress solution building down into weeks. And our aim is to have an agentic solution scoped in to deliver within 6 to 12 weeks. So within a quarter, one business quarter, to go from idea to running app in production. And that's our goal with agentic solution. In order to scope that right and build the right solution, that's where the work of the COE, working in combination with the factory, is part of what makes that happen. Taking less time, of course, lowers cost. So with lower cost solutions, we're able to produce more software, we're able to show more value. And in the factory, because we're taking a standardized approach, using measured tools, tracking activity as it goes on, we have a clear audit route and governance stack that we're able to demonstrate decisions that are made throughout, from design decisions, security decisions, any business gates that need to happen in that process. And we're able to take that method of building an agentic solution and apply it throughout the enterprise. And that's what the core of our approach. Now I'll step into the details. The AI COE. This is kind of a missing piece that for traditional solutions, the COE may not have been part of the plan when people are just experimenting with AI tools. What a COE's main role is to make sure the right solutions are being built. And what does the right solution mean? It means it's cost effective. All right, sorry about that. Okay, yes, so what does the COE mean? That there is business case priority, that there's an ROI, that the solution is being measured, and that the right solutions are being built, and that there's not overlap in functionality. So we can see in some groups where different departments may be building overlapping functionality and overlapping agents. And next, that those agents that are being built may not have the right security governance in mind, meaning do they have the right, what permissions do these agents have? What data are they accessing? Can they make changes to systems of record? How do they interact? Are the actions that are being taken audited? Are they logged? Are they traceable? All these things that go into governance, in addition to many more, are part of what ensuring a governed AI solution is about. And then lastly, taking people into account, that as we introduce these new, often very different solutions, voice-based solutions, image manipulation, the new level of intelligence that are in these systems is a very different way of working than it's been historically. So this is a big change for people in an org. So training people on how these solutions work, getting information about how their job and role may change, and how interacting with these systems. So there's a whole change management process around getting an organization ready for the value these solutions can bring. And that is the core focus of the COE. So the COE is working with the business and getting these solutions scoped and getting the ROI, getting the calculation, say, okay, what's the business value of getting this task done, and how much is it going to cost to build an agentic solution? Is it worth it? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And prioritizing the ones where it makes the most sense, where the ROI is clear and it is something that's important to the business, getting that built. And that's that set of requirements are passed over to the AI factory. So an example of this, we've worked with multiple customers now, helping them establish a COE of their own and working with our COE. And we have a series of calls where we interview the business people, talk to executives, get that backlog of, often it can be, if AI could do anything, what business priority matters most to you? that we can do. And so through a series of interviews and discussions, we're able to get that information from the business and build out a plan of agentic solutions that can really drive meaning and value for that business. We then create the COE, establish the process and procedure around that, and we have standardized ways to approach this, proven methodologies for establishing these COEs that we set up with the client. And then we start working on the first use case. And this is where that first 12-week to value really matters, where we say, okay, we're going to go from these ideas that we've been talking about, and now we're going to build something, and we're going to deploy it to production, and then we're going to make sure that it operates. So those requirements get passed over to the factory, and the factory is software development, effectively. It is where the AI agents are created. So here we use a set of tools, using AI to build an AI-based solution. Now, the tools we use go from GitHub Copilot to the Claude, the Anthropic models, Cloud Code, various multitude of AI-based tools. We're really familiar with integrating these into GitHub as well and leveraging all of the AI features within GitHub, and getting this factory model where the agents are building the software. They're enhancing the requirements. They're taking those requirements, turning them into features, creating those features, creating architectural design documents, validating the architectural design, then implementing and testing the code, all with as much automation as we can bring to bear. What this means is we're able to dramatically accelerate building a solution, and this reduces the time from idea to working code in a big way. And so this factory, the COE is preparing the solutions, the factory is building and deploying the solutions, and this is the loop that goes on. So we've implemented the factory for multiple clients, building real-world solutions. And as an example, we have multiple clients in the call center space where we're taking on duties within a call center. Where, as an example, we have one customer taking 100,000 phone calls a month. Now, a phone call may be about 15 minutes long on average for this customer. The first 3 or 4 minutes are just the authentication part, where they're asking key details of someone who calls in to authenticate that they are who they say they are. And we've all been through that set of questions. So then the call happens. At the end of the call, the customer the reps at the client will summarize the call into the CRM system, typing up notes about what the call was about, and then pick a code because this customer that I'm referring to is in a regulated environment. They have a regulated set of codes. There's 700 potential classification codes for what that call was about that they use for reporting and tracking. So our agentic solution uses a voice-based solution that when the call comes in, it's routed to our AI solution that we built for them, asks those questions, performs that authentication, and many products are starting to offer the solution built in, but they had very particular security requirements, and we're able to build a custom version for them that met all of their security requirements, including fraud detection of an incoming call. And at that point, the call is passed to a human rep who interacts with the customer, and the human rep doesn't have to go through asking all those repetitive questions all the time. And at the end of the call, a transcription of the call's recording the notes are auto-generated, placed into the CRM, and the code is automatically selected. Now, human operators' accuracy on the code selection can be between 70 and 75, maybe up to 80% correct on selecting the code. Our agentic solution is 95% plus correct on choosing the right code. And so this is a time-consuming thing for the operator, and not very interesting amount of work picking the right code. So we're able to hand that task over to the AI, and that's an example. They've already saved hundreds of thousands of minutes per month in time, which has already paid back for the solution, and it'll continue paying back over time. So how does this work in general? So bringing the whole thing together, talked about the COE and the factory. So we bring the use cases in, we plan, organize, prioritize, measure the ROI, stand up the COE, get that going, build the solutions, and then manage them. And as I mentioned before, there's a lot of new technology here. There's the hosting environment for the AI agents. There's the myriad of models and their constant changing pricing structure around tokens. So how do you effectively manage token usage? How do you track token usage? How much compute is being used? How many agents are interacting? What's the security model between all those? So there's all this complex technology once you implement an AI solution in an enterprise, but there's a lot of new technology there. And for our customers, we have the managed service environment where we are able to take care of all of these factors for them at a very reasonable cost, in many cases for much less than they'd be able to do it themselves. And so this is a very exciting part, that once we've planned a solution, built a solution, we can operate the solution for our customers. So this includes the whole lifecycle management, the AI security that we mentioned, permissions management, auditing and logging, from compliance reporting. If the agents are taking action against systems of record, to be able to report on what those actions were and to have clear visibility into what the permission structures, what the agents can and cannot do, is all part of something that we manage within the managed service group. So we do this in a few ways. So the AI specific things, now in the Microsoft case, this would be Microsoft Foundry, where we'd be selecting from one of the thousands of models that are available and hosted on Foundry. There are the the superstars of the world, the Anthropic models, OpenAI, et cetera, but there are so many more fine-tuned models that may be far more cost-effective at getting a task accomplished, that we shouldn't just default to the most expensive frontier model on any given day, when a much more reasonable model could do the task, especially if it's a high volume environment and it's a very repeatable task. We'll find the right model for the job. These models and the solutions interact with regular software. So there's API calls, there's workflow calls, there's storage, file movements, interacting with database. So all of that core infrastructure is there. And we have to ensure that the infrastructure the AI is interacting with is also secure and ready for those AI solutions. So continuously maintaining databases, maintaining servers, maintaining networking, and all the perimeter associated with that. And then lastly, change, because when these solutions come in, the business sees what's possible. The demand for new functionality and new features comes quick, and new improvements are there. So the building in the loop that we're able to capture from the business what the new capabilities that they like are, and seamlessly get those new features built and deployed into production. And that was that loop I was referring to earlier. That is a feature of what we're doing in this managed service full loop cycle. So working with our partners, we've been doing this for, the GPT revolution started in 2023. So we're 3 years into this. We've had an AI practice established from nearly the beginning of that revolution just a few years ago. And what we've found is, starting with assistive AI, which is personal productivity, helping people get their jobs done better. So this would be things like M365 Copilot, Cloud Cowork, these kind of things. And getting these tools into people's hands just to get an idea of what they can be doing. And here we offer training, we offer coaching and implementation, if that's of interest. And then quickly after those tools are established, you very quickly find people want access to data. So getting the right governed, secured access to data is very important. So making sure people get access to the data they're allowed to see, and that there's interacting with the data is safe. So there's no write operations happening when they shouldn't be. And continuously measuring how people are doing. As they experiment, did it go the way they wanted? People say, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. So is there different ways to operate, and where are those gaps? What we find doesn't work is, just trying to put an agent out in the world and expect it to get everything done without any boundaries on it, without any focused skill around it, without measuring what it does. That's not a great recipe that we found. Also, the business now that we're a few years into this, there's a lot of talk around it, but in measuring the value, he's saying, okay, the situation before was this, here's what we did, and here's the metrics. Here's where the actual dials, where we're seeing the value to the business and getting those measurements in place right. Edge cases, there are solutions, there are times where the AI can't complete the whole task. So ensuring that the whole process, and this is a part of the COE, saying, okay, humans will be doing this part, the AI is doing this part, and making sure that interaction covers everything that needs to happen in a business process. Hallucinations, the newer frontier models are hallucinating a lot less, but it still happens. And hallucinations is when an AI model, given that it is a statistical, non-deterministic, meaning it's using statistics and not raw rules to get things done, can make mistakes, just like people. Because AI models are modeled off the human mind, they operate a lot like the human mind. They're very capable. We have to know where their failure modes are. And lastly, prompting and the management, not just of the prompt or the instructions to the model, but also managing the context size. So the models have limited short-term memory, which they call context. So effectively using that context by not overloading the model with too big a prompt and to not giving it clear instructions. And there's an entire art to prompting effectively that can be a significant cost driver. Ineffective prompting can use a lot of tokens versus an effective prompt that gets the job done. So these are things that we've learned. So I'm going to give a demo, and this demo is a solution that we built for a customer that runs a 401k company in the US. So for a Canadian audience, it'd be equivalent of a RRSP. So it's a retirement savings plan. And people have many questions, so they can interact, go to the website and interact with this video avatar and ask any question about their personal retirement plan. Now, without authenticating, they do not get detailed information about their plan, so they can just ask general questions. But if they authenticate into the system and go through the authentication process, they can ask specific question about their account holdings, about their particular portfolio. So I'm going to play this demo, and this will just be a quick minute, and I'll be back after the demo.
Hi, Arissa. How are you today?
Hey there. I'm doing great today, ready to help you out. Would you like to get plan balance information or ask about 401k plans?
Can you tell me what my sponsor balance is?
Here's your sponsor balance information. Keep in mind, sponsors see end-of-month balances only. Plan name, 401k demonstration. PEO ID, S001003. Balance, about $349,820. As of December 31st, 2025. Let me know if you need anything else.
Can you tell me what the 2026 employee 401k contribution limit is?
For 2026, the employee 401k contribution limit, also known as the 402G limit, is $24,500. If you need any more details, feel free to ask.
I'm wondering, as a sponsor, can you give me a list of all the compliance responsibilities in a table?
Sure thing. Here's a table summarizing key compliance responsibilities for a plan sponsor. Responsibility area description. Plan document update.
Now at this point, I'm going to switch back into chat mode because she's giving me this entire table. This was just a demonstration to say I could have this formatted. I could have asked her, give me one of the most important compliance responsibilities. Give me a list of these responsibilities and the dates that they're due. I can ask her different questions and she can come back with different formatting. And I can toggle back and forth between voice and chat mode. Arissa, can you tell me a joke?
All right, here's one for you. Why did the 401k plan sponsor bring a pencil to the compliance meeting? In case they had to draw some top-heavy conclusions. Hope that gave you a chuckle. Want another one?
You're muted, Shane.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Arissa.
So what that demo demonstrated was voice interaction. So the speaker's voice there was being recorded real time using the real-time voice APIs. So live translation, and then going into the video avatar model. And so the video avatar is playing back the voice and talking to the user, and that can be in a multitude of languages. So this demo was in English, but pretty much all the world's spoken languages are covered, 100 plus languages. So that can be very useful for scenarios with translation. And then interacting with the LLM model in the background, which also includes a traditional chat interface. So you don't have to use the video avatar, but for some people, they may prefer it. So the option is there. So next steps as we get to wrap up here. If you like what you saw today and you're interested in conversation, please give us a call. Reach out to the contact number there, the QR code. You can go to centrilogic.com/contact us. And this is what we do. We get up every day building these agentic AI solutions for our customers. The industry is changing at a pace we've never seen before. It's incredible that it used to be year by year. Now it's quarter by quarter, even week by week, getting down to day by day, really, with the sheer amount of changes. So we have entire teams that spend their time making sure they're up to date on what the latest capabilities are, the latest ways to implement these, and we're working with multiple customers to create these solutions. So we have real world experience about what it means to run these things on an ongoing basis. So please reach out to us, and any project you may be working on, let us know.